Such disappointment, gentlemen. All you had to do was break in, scare the rabbit deeper into the hole, and then leave. I swear, we did. But Wayne, he was crazy. Put Charlie through the window and my hand. Spare me. You were paid in advance, did you not? Yes, but not our fault. He paid in advance. And you failed. What's the matter, boy? All choked up. Hello, I'm Edgar Miranda. Anger. It takes root and festers. It can consume a man. This man was in his mid-40s, divorced, unemployed. The report said he'd been horribly abused as a child. All that anger pushed down, deep. He had sent 6 people to the hospital, 2 of them cops. Clearly, this man was in desperate need of help. But before that, he had to be stopped. I don't know what you're wearing, but if you think you cops can scare me, stay back! No best is going to stop this. Come near and I'll blow us both to pieces. Oh, you won it! You got it! Shots were fired. A muffled explosion. And then the subject jumped. Or so the witnesses at the ground thought at first. Once in custody, the man said a creature threw him as if he was a doll. He said he didn't know until that moment just how much he wanted to live. No one was really sure of what had happened, but they all seemed to sense that whatever it was, it would change everything. And the media loved it. Gentlemen, I am delighted that we've reached the end of this long and unnecessary negotiations. But finally, my signature on this paper is the final step to welcome Wayne Enterprises into LexCorp, and you can all retire with more money than you could ever have used for. You are very welcome. It is I who will take the burden of running this empire. In other words, you'll own Gotham the same way you own Metropolis, huh? Sorry, Luthor. That's not going to happen. Huh. Who are you? This, sir, is Mr. Bruce Wayne. Wayne? You can't be Wayne. Oh, but I am. Mr. Wayne, please, you can just come in here. Actually, I can do whatever I want. I've stayed out of all business affairs, but times have changed. I have changed. And from now on, I intend to be very actively involved in the day-to-day of my companies. So this meeting is concluded. Now you wait one damn minute! I moved my corporate seat to this rat hole of a city so that I could oversee my interests here, and if you think Lex Luthor is going to let some spineless recluse to crawl out of his hole and... Luthor, I read about the explosion at your chemical factory last year. How you almost died. You kept hidden for months, and now you finally emerged. I respect that. Now you show me the same respect. Ha, I'll give it to you, Wayne. It's just not anyone who can cross Luthor like that. I can't say how honored I am to have you come over, Mr. White. I've hired the best from all over the country, and with a man like you to lead them. You know, my father always spoke highly of the Daily Planet, a paper for the people, with their interests in mind first, not the shareholders, just what Gotham needs. Until Luthor bought it, I'm confident that this paper is really gonna make a difference in this city. It's a bunch of hot-headed mavericks, won't listen to anybody. How am I supposed to run this place? Easy, Perry. Let us do our jobs, you sit back and reap the rewards. Lois Lane, Mr. Wayne, just in from Metropolis. You know, we've spoken on the phone so many times that I actually forgot we've never met. Yes, well, glad to have you aboard, Miss Lois. Lois, yes, well, the planet's loss is the Gotham... Better get back to work. And that's how Lois Lane of Metropolis met her new boss. She had expected Gotham's world-famous recluse to be many things, but never a shy stuttering klutz. She was both charmed and disappointed. As a publisher, there was nothing shy about him. He was idealistic, passionate, and talented. In fact, Bruce's determination to use his paper to change his city is one of the two things that convinced her to leave Metropolis. And the other thing, Lois, dear, what a charming coincidence. May I offer you a ride home? After years of tracking garbage to Luther's door and watching him walk away smelling like roses, she wanted to nail the sucker once and for all. She wasn't alone in that. How could a girl refuse such chivalrous offer? It's been a while, Lex. Yes. Right around the time the planet ran that despicable article about me. Really, Lois? Do you think I would kill my own parents? What bothered you more, Lex? The article, or that you lost the lawsuit? Lois, you tarnished my good name. Is that why you bought the Daily Planet? To protect your good name? That's all in the past, my dear. I've changed since the accident. Facing death changes you. It was horrible. The fire, the flesh. I have to admit, I'm intrigued. After the accident, you hardly ever show yourself in public, both in Metropolis and now here in Gotham. But here you are, in the open. Why the sudden interest in me? Like I said, I've changed more than you could possibly imagine. But what hasn't changed is my interest in you. She wanted none of it, but Lex is the type of individual used to getting his way, sooner or later. Enjoy the walk, my dear. It's only 50 blocks to your apartment. Ciao! She didn't need a white knight to come and rescue her. She had studied martial arts and always carries a can of mace with her. But she and Bruce Wayne had a few things in common. They were both klutzes. At the moment, she was deeply regretting moving to Gotham when the earthquake hit. She had seen the footage on the sniper incident. She was fascinated with the Batman. The feeling in the city was that Gotham had found a protector, a real hero, unafraid to stand up to the cowards and bullies. But watching him break those boys apart made her realize that this man, if he was a man, was no hero. I could kill you, you know. One finger right through your head and it's over. There's nothing you could do to stop me.
Please.
Don't worry, Scum. You're not worth it. Let me help you. Get the hell away from me. He just stood there. And then he took off, like all the power and rage had drained out of him. That's the second monster tonight. Is this what we've come to? Is this the hero we deserve, or need right now? The Gotham's Gazette was gathering information on Luthor, and even by Gotham standards, there was too much. Weapons, drugs, all types of illegal dealings. So much money moving. He could hire a personal army if he wanted. Lois? Bruce? It's so late. What are you doing here? I like it. It's when I do my best work. How about you? She shared everything. What happened with Luthor, with the Batman, her horror, Lois. They are nothing alike. He saved you. If you had seen him, no regard for life. Just like Luthor. A man with such power. He could do so much to better the world. Just look at you. Me. All these months, we've worked together. I've seen you put everything into this paper, into this city. You don't need to, but you do it every day. No matter which shirt, their love always finds a way. And so does other things. Sir, that's Mr. Wayne's office. You can't go in there. Luthor, what are you doing here? The time has come, Lois. To show you just how much I've changed. Luther, you have no right being here. Very funny, Wayne. Let go of me, you clown. Very poor choice of words. Lex, what happened to you? Well, my accident, of course. Turns out it wasn't so little. I was upset at first, but now I see the funny side. My accident was not my end. It was my beginning. You see, I've always been different, and I'm no longer shackled like I was in Metropolis. No, here I'll start my kingdom. And you, my dear, you will be my queen. You're out of your mind. Let her go. Face to face at last. It wasn't easy carrying my plans under your nose. You are quite the trouble. I'm not done yet. Neither do I. Look around, Batman. Gotham's mine. I spent years trying to bend Metropolis to my will, create a heaven on earth fit for a god. So many schemes and dealings behind closed doors, and for what? What? To be forgotten, left behind to rot the second I wasn't fit for the cameras. But not here. This is my kind of town, Bats. Here I can show my true face. Just look. Gotham was being the subject of a hostile takeover. A mercenary army, supplied with anything LexCorp money could buy, was ravaging the streets. Such a ridiculous plan would have been laughable if there wasn't so many people dying. Why are you doing this? First Gotham, and then everything else. I hear them, hundreds, all across the city. All because of you. You don't deserve. You animal. I'm going to kill you and then rip your corpse to bloody pieces. You and I, we are the same. Two monsters. Wouldn't you say yes? No. Lois, they are nothing alike. He saved you. If you had seen him, no regard for life, just like Luther. The cowards and bullies use violence, but you must aspire to something better, something higher. A man with such power, he could do so much to better the world. Just look at you. It was in that moment that Lois realized that before this long night was over, Gotham might get herself a real hero. For so many years, he had buried his pain, denying the wounded little boy who had watched, traumatized, and helpless while his parents were murdered. That's who Batman was, a child in a costume, playing out a lifetime of guilt and anger. And his vision was as narrow as a child's, focused on one goal: punishing the bad man who had taken his mother and father away. But the time had finally come for him to realize that in scaling down his vision, he had scaled down his soul. What you did tonight, it was different, not out of hate, no vendetta. With your power, there's so much more you can do. Instead of stooping to the level of the very people you're trying to stop, you can rise above all of that. You, of all people, must stand as an example, a symbol of hope. I don't have it in me to do that. The Batman doesn't, but Bruce Wayne does. And finally, he started believing in himself, that he could be a man of decency and values that she would fall in love with, and who would love her back. with all his heart. The slightest change in the wind that day might have carried that rocket anywhere else in the world. It could have been a tribe chief that found him in a fiery crater, a peasant in Asia, a dictator in Europe, or even a farmer in Kansas. A slight change and this world might have been denied its greatest hero. But on this earth, there's only one way it could have happened. Only one series of events that could have given us Superman. The bullets.